old, rolling like a geezer.
Welcome one, welcome all. It is once again time for your favorite draw stream on the interwebs, Graybeard'S Studio. We're supposed to have a really big guest today who hasn't shown up yet, but we're hopeful that he'll roll in as the day continues on. But either way, the show must go on, and so let me bring in some folks that help this. To help this show meet its full potential. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Martin. Hello, Gary. Where in the world did you get that? Seriously.
This is my new Graybeard'S uniform. I think I'm going to wear it every show. So I won't say who, but a very thoughtful and generous friend of the show sent this to me.
Oh my gosh, look at that. That's amazing. Okay, well, here's a guy who's got his own special kind of attire. He October brings out the best or worst in him. I guess you can decide here. It's Dan Lawless.
Hello. How do you like these hair? I figure there's nothing more frightening nowadays than colored hair.
I know.
I mean, this strikes terror into the hearts of every conservative in the world.
Exactly. You know, if that hat didn't have stripes on it, I would think maybe you were Solomon Kane.
Cool.
Yeah. See,
and you got the green hair.
Yeah. Well, we can chalk that up to like lighting effects, right? But
special.
No, I mean that's almost a Solomon Kane type hat, and he has long hair, not long green hair, but.
Yeah.
So
maybe I could get some dye out, and I could make this, darken that and darken this, and that would be cool.
You could be.
I could be cool, man. Yeah.
You could be a monster hunter or a monster. You can be either.
Yeah, Dad. You just keep thinking you're cool wearing that hat.
Okay, good.
Don't let anybody tell you different.
You can't say that kind of stuff because I'll just roll with it. Yeah. Definitely cool. James, I'm not transitioning, for goodness sake.
I was sicker than a dog last night, and I slept or I should say I stayed in bed till 11:30. I was like, I am not missing this show, because we went out of our way to sort of set up this big Ethan Van Sciver event. And I said, I can't call in sick today. So here I am. And
I think you were just stalling from your exciting day of fulfilling orders, shipping. That's like, that's the worst.
Yeah, it's funny because I showed you guys, 2 weeks ago, like the pencils for the first page of Wraith of God 3. I'm about a third of the way done inking that. I mean, I've progressed hardly at all because you've got to get the books out. That's the priority. And then, so
I was shipping some artwork this morning, and I only had like 5 pieces to, cut up cardboard for and package up and make labels and stuff. And by the 5th one, I'm like, oh. And I was thinking of you. It's like that photo with that half-eaten donut in the foreground.
Yeah.
Of you fulfilling orders. It's like, okay, it could be worse. I could be Aaron.
Well, but shipping out original artwork is the worst because you got to cut the cardboard or whatever you're using to ship it. Whereas we already have boxes that these books go into.
But
we
you're
have
still
boxes,
taping
but-
stuff up and printing labels and, doing all that.
Well, Shelly's printing all the labels, so at least I don't have to do that.
Okay.
But I got this stack of labels down there, and I was going to hit it last night, but I just really felt horrible last night, so I just went to bed early. And then this morning I didn't get up and do anything because I was still not feeling great. And so there's like a stack of labels like this sitting down there waiting for me to, so I'm like way behind. I gotta get moving, man.
Yeah. Well,
Those books
my warehouse guys were goofing around today, so I had to go take charge.
Your warehouse guys?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wish I had warehouse guys. I wish I had a warehouse. Our house is wiped out. I mean, there are boxes and books everywhere, and it's like, man,
once you start that process, it just grows and grows, and then it takes over.
Yep. But I keep thinking, man, someday I'll make enough money where I can actually rent out an office space or something and do fulfillment out of that so that I don't have, our house wrecked.
And just hire an army of stooges to do the work.
Hey,
That's right.
James,
bend all the covers.
James in the chat says he's going to do an unboxing of Kit Carter tomorrow. That means that he got his Kit Carter. How come I didn't get my? Isn't there anything like privilege, like being on the show? You get yours a little earlier, or
well, you know what we
how come the fans get it first?
No, okay. Hang on a second now. What happened was we started. My dog. Okay, we started. Normally what we do is we do a printout of everybody that ordered, right? And then we match it against the Indiegogo mailing list, right, on screen. So we go to the site and and so we kind of cross-reference. Well, we decided this time was like, she was like, I don't want to print out that whole list. And it's so small, I can't read it. It's like my glasses aren't good enough anymore to read it. So we just went strictly by the list on the Indiegogo site, right? So what we did was we thought, okay, well, what would be the best way to approach this? So we started from people who ordered first, and we started working our way down. But then Shelly was like, Shelly always feels guilty that somebody's going to get their book last. And I keep telling her, Shelly, it doesn't matter what you do, somebody's going to get their book last. There's
no way. Yeah, no way around that.
So, but what she does is now
you decided to make me last. Is that what you're saying?
Well, maybe.
But she jumps around.
She's jumping
based
around
on people that she likes.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily go that far. You can read into it whatever you like, but she's bouncing around all over the place. And we did send Cecil out his. She goes, "Oh, look, Cecil." And but that was just purely by happenstance because she was just bouncing around and like, oh, there's Cecil. So yeah, Dan. So it's nothing personal. And Gary, I know you ordered early, but it's nothing personal. It's just, you'll get it.
So what Aaron is trying to say, Dan, is that Shelly doesn't care for you in that hat.
In that hat.
Well, she hasn't seen me in the hat
off.
Once she's seen me in his hat, maybe she'll think differently.
But the other funny thing is, a lot of times when you get other pros backing you, they don't necessarily, because I know for me, if I back, like a friend's campaign or whatever, just send it to me whenever. I don't care. I'm not like on the edge of my seat wanting to read it. I just kind of, and then oftentimes it'll sit there and I won't read it for months anyway. So I always figure, Gary can wait. He doesn't care. And, Dan can wait. He's got a witchy hat on. He's not going to read it right now.
What do you mean?
But those, well, okay. All right, Dan, we will go down and find you and ship it to you. And I expect you to read it immedially when you get it.
Yes. And I can talk about it then online. See, that's
okay.
I'm a promoter.
See,
when you hire me to do art, you're also hiring me to promote.
Okay, Dan, I see where you're going with this. I apologize. He wants to read it and, comment on it. And that's
better be positive comments though.
Yeah.
Pal.
Well, Dan, I don't think I've ever seen Dan say anything negative about what anybody's doing. So yeah, I see where you're doing, Dan. I apologize.
Well, I'm not going to say who this is, but somebody in the professional circles that does reviews and other things. He told me, I said, aren't you a little nervous about like reviewing somebody's book that maybe isn't that great, and you know them, and whatever. And he goes, what I do is I'll read the book, and he goes, if I like it, I'll do a review. If I don't like it, I won't review it. And I said, that's pretty smart. So now Dan's going to I got my book, and then he'll never do a review. And I'll be like,
I'll just see, like, look at the back cover.
Yeah, just look at the back cover.
I'll never show the front of it. Just like, look at this.
Well, but here's the thing. You guys both ordered, and I appreciate it very much, but you didn't have to, because I would send you complimentary copies because you worked on the book.
Well, everybody doesn't do that. So I just assume.
Well, I'll take your money. Don't get me wrong, Gary.
No, I know, but I used to assume that if I did anything for someone, I'd get a book, but that doesn't always happen.
Yeah. Hey, if people want to send me books to review and cash, then I'll do a good review for them,
Not necessarily in that order.
I got to slide a few bills in the book when I send it to you.
Yeah. It's really good. I like how it ends here. Yeah, with this.
What you guys should have done
packet of cash.
You guys should have ordered the soft cover, because you're both in the gallery section in the hardcover. So I would have sent you a hardcover, and then you order a soft cover, then you'd have both. See, but you, Gary, I know you ordered a hardcover. So now I feel like I got to send you 2 hardcovers, one complimentary one.
Don't send me 2.
He's like, please don't send me 2 copies of that crap. I got all right. Let's see who's here as we stall and wait for Ethan perhaps to show up. Corum is here. Awesome. I vote for Lynx. Who's Lynx? Do you know who Lynx is?
Is that a Cyberfrog character?
Yeah, that's a cut.
Okay.
Yeah. It isn't out yet, though.
Are there any Cyberfrog characters that don't have a bunch of tech all over them?
The girl.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try drawing Cyberfrog today, but I tell you what, that character is a nutbuster, man. It's so difficult to get
don't
right.
know how he goes in every panel that.
What was he thinking to create that character like this? I mean, so time consuming. It's just to draw the character.
Ethan is cut out of a different mold. Did you see the double page cover that he recently posted?
Yeah.
He's getting more detailed.
I know.
In his work, not less, more detailed.
I just, I don't know. Maybe it's that, we talked about this before, but that sort of commercial art instincts that are just like, I can't spend 2 weeks doing this cover, and I like putting details, but not tech stuff. Oh God. I mean, look at all those. You can see the armband on Cyberfrog here. Look at the, it's got a little, and look at all the shadow he put on there, on the leg one. It's just like.
Yeah, there's a character on that double cover that from small screen, it looks like it's like all gray. And then you zoom in and all that gray is like tech line work.
David liked my comment. That nutbuster.
Gen X Catholic says, Aaron, the Phillies are playing. Ethan probably is watching the game instead. There's Creative Faye. Robert the Bruce is joining us. Pass Master Dan. I predict much talk about Bigfoot and Aaron's disbelief. No, that I save for the Sunday show. We don't talk about Bigfoot on this show.
No, we don't. Yeah. No.
Faster Flash says, invite John. We have invited John on this show when we did Liefeld, and he politely declined. So
we'll get him back. We'll go. I'll go talk to him if I can.
Yeah, well, I'll send him a message and just say, hey, you want to come on, dude? So we'll see. Cool Cotton. He says, you always need to remind Ethan that you're doing a stream together. He forgets that fast. No, I know. I reminded him Monday, but it's like I don't have his phone number, so all I can do is send him messages on Twitter. And if he doesn't see them, then, what are you going to do? I got a feeling he's going to get about halfway through the Phillies game and go, oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be on Graybeard'S. Omer Glitch is here, not to be confused with Omer Garcia III, even though he has the same little icon there, so it must be the same person. John without an H is here. Wolverine, Captain Bipto, all the way from Great Britain. Dan, the Pizza Man, Genovese Pantheon, Ronan, Spambot, Marcus Killer Group, purveyor of all things pop culture knowledge. JC says, what are the odds Ethan has forgotten about this? Ethan, you in here? Yeah. What are the odds?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of names that I don't recognize watching today's show. I think they fell for your bait and switch.
Yeah, they came for Ethan, and
and then they got us.
Yeah,
suckers.
There's Jimmy Reyes is here. Alex Gordon, the normie nerd Matt Cisco, Linkovich oh my gosh. All right. Linkovich Komofsky. I'll go with that. Deal Rail Gaming is here. Bloody Drake, Repairman Jack, Fox Mulder's joining us. And let's see, Robert Doan's pills. I could use some Doan's pills. I got a backache. I'm afraid that I might have some kidney stones. I'm getting a little nervous.
Do they still make Doan's pills?
I don't know if they do or not. But remember, they were like specifically, or they always advertise them specifically for back pain.
Even as a kid, I couldn't figure out how you can localize a painkiller by taking, it's like
I don't.
You can't take those pills for a headache, but you can for a backache.
Backache, yeah. I don't get it. Henry Bemis is here. Jabez is joining us. Fane Lowlife, of course. Best Age Comics. Pity Ma. William Wellborn. Sequential Treasures, also known as James. Mikael. An even prettier woman. This Graybeard'S episode. I don't know what that means. An even prettier woman, this Graybeard'S episode.
I don't understand that.
I don't know. It's almost as confusing as Wizard Sleeves. Lord Hinson Comics Gators joining us. Jay Dredd, Zombie Boy, Stealth X5, who just bought 2 shirts from me. So he's on my good guy list.
Yeah, mine too.
Oh, look at that. Toshiro.
You hear that in the chat? We're dropping heavy hints on how you can get on our good guy list.
That's right. Brian 999. My Kit Carter's on the way. It is because he was. I cracked under pressure. He was like kind of like Dan Lawless. He was like kind of giving me a hard time in the chat. Where's my book? Where's my book? And I went, all right. And so I said, Shelly, go find Brian 999. Ship him his books. So there you go. Enrique Cabrera. And then, of course, Stealth X5, $2. Hello. Thank you for that, Stealth. Appreciate it. Comic Exposed. Still no Ethan. It's true. Skull Leader. Tippy Tail McKitty. Who else we got here? Brian Norton, all the way from Japan. We haven't seen Brian in a while. Kino Reviews is joining us. Angela Chocolates Curry is joining us. Iwazaru. Iwazaru. That's how that we do that. Elemental MJ. Look at all these. Moromi is here. Mortal V. My goodness. Gray Wolf. Frankie Ramone. Wow. David Williams can be in the chat, but he can't be on the show. Nutbuster, he says. Terror Movie Trailers is joining us. Andy Go-Go Comics.
Oh, it's time for David's second lunch so he can watch Graybeard'S while he's,
That's right. Comics Exposed for $2. Malin was talking mad crap about you last night. He's always talking mad crap about me. Katie Did's channel. Hello, and oh my gosh, Dan. I
see. Dan's going to take that as a compliment.
Oh, absolutely.
But that could go either way.
Oh my God, Dan, that's so great.
Improbi is joining us
right?
here. Wolverine. Kyle Miller. Look at that. Link. We already got Linkovich Kitchen. Wow. This is quite a crowd we got here, you guys. Please hit the like and subscribe if you have not done so already. It helps this channel grow so we can get other big guests like Ethan Van Sciver to come on our show.
We'll get there.
Yeah, well, hey, we're going to try John Malin next week. See what he does. He's talking crap about us. I extend an olive branch to him to join the show. Maybe we'll draw.
You can talk crap about us right on a show.
That's right.
Come on, John.
Yeah, John, if you're watching, man, I'll send you a link right now, man. Sleeping psychopathy. Took me a second there. All right, so let's do a little show and tell, and let's get rocking and rolling and see if Ethan rolls in at some point. DJ Close said he won't be coming on anytime soon. I assume you're talking about Malin. Well, why is he ripping on us for if he doesn't want to come on? I don't get it.
We'll wear him down.
Yeah. Gary, what is this?
In the past, I had mentioned that I had inked a Kirby piece in DC's Who's Who, and somebody sent this to me. Looks like by the date that I have on my signature, I did this in '86.
Over Kirby? Is that legit over Kirby?
Wow. Yeah, it was Kirby pencils.
Oh.
But the way Who's Who was done is that they had the colorful background, and so they had to take an overlay, some tracing paper, and ink the background separately. And so this is actually two pieces. It's the background is inked on an overlay, and then the main figure is inked on paper, and then they would, do the tricky special effects. But anyway, that's my Kirby. I wanted to show a commission that I finished and sent off today.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's beautiful.
This one I couldn't find a high res copy of it, so I had to do a little guesswork on some of the lines, especially the hair.
Yeah, well,
but it
doesn't matter. You have the gist of it. You know how to do line work. So
yeah, I mean, I'm probably, if I had a good copy of the original, I wouldn't be that far off.
Right.
I've done a lot of Bolin recreations, so I can kind of guess. And there's still stuff that he does that I don't do that I'm learning. As an example, I don't know if you can see my cursor, this line pattern on the cuff of his glove over here. How he has this angle of lines, and then he does another set of lines and tweaks the angle just a little bit and then overlaps it, and that creates this cool seam. And I'd never seen that before. So that's like, something that I learned from Boland. So he's constantly teaching me stuff. And here's another commission.
Oh, well, that's lines. That's wild.
This is a Destro commission. I don't know.
Destro.
This guy loves that character from G.I. Joe.
That's wild, man. It just looks like tones, but I know it's line.
Man.
Yeah, all
like I said, you could do your own counterfeit money.
How do you not give yourself a headache doing this stuff?
I do give myself. Yeah, it's a tedious process. I don't like cross hatching, but I really like the result. Destro.
Very nice.
Wild. Of course, that's so great.
How did that get there?
How did that get there? Uh-huh.
As long as we're here, let's zoom in on that.
Horse.
I can hear the horse hooves clip clapping.
Clickety clackety clickety clack.
Well, actually, my favorite part of this piece is his hat.
No, I thought you said it was the horse.
Oh, the second favorite part, the reins. Yeah, the horse's reins.
Mm-hmm.
So did you pulled out the old reference for that horse rein bit and everything?
Absolutely. I think I had 5 different photos of horses in that angle with bits in their mouth.
Wow. What's it like to draw someone else's character better than them?
Oh, man.
I would think it probably feels a little bit like this. There you go. So, tell me how that feels.
See, that's not for me to say.
Okay. Well, now that we've got that cleared up, let's take a look at what Dan Lawless has been up to.
Speaking of John Malin, I've been doing this painting live on my YouTube channel. So I've the two figures are done. It's not really that much more to go. Really, the figures below will be kind of, they don't have to, they're kind of being in a lot of shadow and stuff. Then the background's going to be pretty indistinct. But yeah, I was working on this just yesterday. I did this figure here, during the afternoon on a live show. So if people want to see me, how I do skin tones and stuff like that, it's a good tutorial, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd hope, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy turned out pretty well. I really like him.
Yeah.
He looks badass.
I like his hands the most. I mean, you've got a lot of color going on there, but they're so well drawn.
Thank you. I love color variation, and that's why I love Frazetta. I love
it reads
all those,
really well.
Yeah, the little bits of blue, that gives you the veins and that sort of thing, and the knuckles have a little more red in them and stuff. And so you push those colors, and that's kind of fun. It gives you a fun, it's a comics. So I see this guy, got the point. So that argument.
Now, are you tempted at all to like throw some blood shooting out of the back of this dude?
Not really. Maybe a little bit, but I don't actually. I kind of like Conan and all that stuff, but I don't necessarily love excessive gore.
Yeah,
and sort of like you can't really see what's going on here is kind of internal, and I just it's action to me. I like action, but not necessarily, so because it's not real. I mean, it's not, comics aren't real, so you can kind of do it in a way that's not too excessive. Some people just show everything, and it just kind of seems more like I'm interested like in the movement and the life and the energy of it all, rather than the death of it,
rather than the death of it all.
Yeah. The morbid side of it. Anyways, I think this has turned out pretty well.
Yep.
Hope John will like it, and we'll see.
You should see what you're going to do with the background here.
Not much, it's going to be pretty faded back, so we'll see. It shouldn't take too long, really. Just the idea is a bunch of stairs and going off to these large, buildings in the background. It's kind of from the story godlike, they're kind of modern, futuristic, indistinct, kind of not really much like ornate. It's a modern architecture, sci-fi type thing. So, but it's cool. It's fun. I like that I'm doing it all online, so everyone can see the kind of the full process. And thank you for that comment there. And,
Sleeping Psychopathy says, "Sorry, Aaron, I love the story." So isn't that even another left-handed compliment? So it's like, yeah, okay, your art sucks, but I like the story. Telling you, that's 2. It's 2 for sleeping.
But art is the story, or art is storytelling. So he must like your art to a certain degree.
Well, I don't know. It sounds like he's working his way around trying to insult me as much as he can. So, okay, more cannonballs. All right. I don't really have Captain Bipto. I thought waiting on Rini was bad. Yeah, what is it with people on being tardy to this show? Do we send out the wrong kind of, is it like, oh my gosh, this is getting out of control. Gosh.
See, you can't let them get to it, because once they know they get to you, now they're gonna they found that soft spot. They're gonna punch that thing.
Yeah, they're under the skin right now. It's
the tone has taken a dark turn against Aaron.
It's getting a little rough around here. Well, let me show you some crappy art while we're talking about it.
Oh, I need more boobs in my work.
That's stuff bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, that is a flaw.
What is a flaw?
That picture didn't have any boobs in it.
Well, you can't have everything, right? Okay, so you can see I'm kind of making my way through this. I guess I'll make myself big. Yeah. Why not? So our kind of like our a road leading to Cranestown, USA. The witch's hovel back here. Very Plug looking, I think.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. The little witch house almost looks like a face.
Oh, it kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah, pumpkin.
A creepy face.
And here, of course, the mystery that everybody's glommed onto. She has
Yeah.
one boot on and one
Uh-oh.
barefoot. And then, of
Looks
course,
a little, I love those eyes. Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. So this is what marginal artwork looks like. But you'll get a ton of this marginal artwork in Wraith of God 3. So I'd encourage everybody to back it. If you like good story and marginal artwork, I'm your guy. So let's see here.
And if you pressure Aaron, he just might put my Wraith piece in his book.
Well, apparently now I can't, because I can't have people saying that, oh, Gary, that's the best piece of the book. So, you know, what are we going to do here?
Yeah.
It's kind of put me in a bad position.
Yeah.
So you guys are actually hurting Gary by your nonsense.
Yeah, you guys got to butter up.
Well, then, yeah, but it's a no-win, because if they say they hate it, then you won't put it in either.
That's true.
Just say it's super great. Almost as great as Aaron.
Almost as good as Aaron. Yeah, there you go.
Shooting Ethan another message, but you know.
Yeah, well, he's got a lot on his plate. Like I said, he had tests today for Andrea and stuff like that. That's
Yep.
got to take it out of you, you know.
Well, or he's just eating hot dogs.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe Malin told him don't come on the show because he won't invite me on, which is not true, because we want
everybody on the show.
We have invited Malin.
Okay, let it be known officially that Aaron has re-invited John.
That's right. I'm going to send him a message right after the show.
We're actually desperate to have people on the show.
Yeah, please.
We got anybody, come on.
For all that's holy, please come on the show.
People mistake my laziness for lack of interest and of having them on the show, because I haven't invited a lot of people. It's because I'm lazy about that. You know, it's like you go through the whole week, you're doing stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, Graybeard'S is tomorrow, and it's too late. You can't like invite somebody at, you know, an hour before the show goes on, unless you're Dan. We did that to Dan many times.
You know, the thing is, though, sometimes
while
some
the
of these
show
guys
is on the air, hey Dan, you want to come on?
You know, some of these,
right
with
now?
some of these guys, though, it's like I feel almost a little bit like I'm asking for something. Like I'm reluctant to kind of ask for their time. You know, sometimes that's what I feel. I approach it. It isn't like we wouldn't want someone on the show. It's like it feels like, oh, you're busy and we're asking you for your time. That's kind of, so, you know, I'm saying sometimes I think we don't invite everybody because we just feel like, hey, you know, they're busy. We know they're busy, and you know, that kind of thing. So doesn't mean anything, though. Doesn't mean, you know, at all.
But again, that's a two-edged sword, because there's always the mythology of trying to give out the perception that you're busy, even when you're not.
Well, I think
just to, I got stuff going on kind of thing. But most of the time, freelancers are twiddling their thumbs.
Most people,
don't tell them that, damn it.
Most people don't like coming on a live show and drawing. They just don't.
You're breaking the illusion right now, Gary. You're not supposed to tell them we're sitting around drinking coffee and eating donuts. You know?
Waiting by the phone. Why don't they call me?
All right, are we starting?
We're starting, man.
Oh, well, hang on a second. I got to do the camera. How the camera?
Yeah.
Last look, guys.
Dan and I are yapping away. Meanwhile, Aaron's drawing.
I'm scared to death of this. I really am, because this is like I've never drawn Cyberfrog before, and just the amount of crazy detail on this character. I know I'm going to get it wrong, so I think what I should do is just make up my own version, and then.
So not even try to model, just your take on it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. Aaron's take, Cyberfrog.
Let's see. I've got to pull up some crazy reference here. Like the piece I got was him setting in the rain. You look at the
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yep.
And so like those little red glowing things, are those part of the costume too? They must be, right?
Oh yeah.
Those crazy hands will take me the whole show just to do a hand.
All right, let's see.
Steven De La Vega says, I'll do it my own version equals the lazy artist's way.
Yeah.
Crazy because it's scrolling and I missed the part.
That there is look, he's got reflections in the metal too. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Henry Bemis is asking what town is Corn Dog's team from? No, not Tacoma. Corn Dogs is an all-American team, kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters. They travel around spreading mirth and sportsmanship.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
Now I've tried to draw Cyberfrog a bunch of times, and I'll tell you the best way is to that I found is think frog, the way it moves.
I never would have thought of that.
Aaron, are you capable of thinking frog?
I don't know.
Thinking how the frog moves is what I mean.
I'm more of a thinking lizard kind of guy. I was thinking. Then I looked up salamandra and I go, okay, that's not any easier than this.
Oh, that's way even tougher, yeah.
Like that piece Dale did. Oh my gosh, that double page spread.
Yeah, that you're getting suggestions. Draw Heather Swain.
I've never drawn the frog though.
Brian Smith suggests Heather Swain.
I've got to draw the frog because I've never drawn the frog.
You're getting a lot of suggestions. Taking shortcuts. I think if you took a shortcut, it would kind of undermine the character.
Aaron should be able to draw a grizzly.
Trevor Movie Trailer says, just do silhouettes.
Well, that is one way to go about it, is drop some heavy shadow in there.
Hey, Aaron, you're no Frank Miller.
I admit to that, actually. I did a cover for, when DC did that second Dark Knight series, and they did like 100 covers on the first issue by a different artist and everything. So I did one of those, and the guy that I did it for he was a mail order comic shop person, and he wanted me to do his cover, his store cover. So I got to do one of the 100, and he bought the original from me, and he took it to a show where Frank Miller was at, and he had Miller sign the artwork. Yeah. And Miller said, I didn't draw this. And he said, I know, but I still want you to sign it. So there's a piece of original artwork out there that I drew that Frank Miller signed.
Is your signature on it?
Yes.
Okay. As long as, yeah. So now that artwork has quadrupled in value. Is that what you're saying?
Frank Miller's signature. But if I was a decent artist, maybe it would have been worth more. But you do what you use the tools that you've got available to you.
So let's reverse this. Let's say someone commissioned Michael Golden to draw Kit Carter. and then the client took that artwork and brought it to you and asked you to sign it.
I don't think I would do it.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't. Yeah, I don't think that I could do that.
So I'm thinking, correct me if I'm wrong, that by him signing it, he's actually insulting you.
Yes, that would be my take on the whole thing.
Okay.
Um,
But if it was, somebody he admired, he wouldn't sign it.
well, let's.
What? This
let's-
is Aaron Lepresti. There's no way I'm signing this. He's too good.
Yeah, I mean, if it was Garcia Lopez, do you think he would have signed it?
I don't know.
Hey, I'd have him
Probably
sign all my
not.
artwork if it went up in price like that. Like, hey, sign away,
Probably
buddy.
not. Oh, before I forget.
Where is it? Bob Gable for $1.99. Have you or will you ever invite John Malin on? Bob, we've been talking about it the whole show. Yes, we have invited him and he turned us down.
Open invitation.
He has an open invitation. I'm going to extend because I know he was, talking some trash about us last night. So that's the word I'm getting. So apparently he wants to be on the show, even though he's been invited and turned us down. So I just assumed he didn't want to come on.
If he turns you down again, then you've put that whole issue to rest.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we would love to have Malin on, and we would even cater the show to do an image thing or something, so you can go back to his roots a little bit.
Yeah, we're getting all kinds of suggestions in the chat of who to invite.
We have to.
So it's not really about Aaron inviting people. He invites people just like all over the place. It's about them accepting.
Yeah, I've invited. People are like, invite so and so, and I've invited so and so, and they're like, I don't want to draw on camera. So I'm like, what do you do? I've extended, invitations to John Beatty. I've extended invitations to Walter Simonson.
Biggs.
If Malin comes on Graybeard'S, this drawing subject should be horses. Just saying. Well, it just might be. It just might be.
Well, a drawing contest on horses, that'd be tough.
I know. Brutal.
Horses are just a bite.
They are. People. The thing with Walter, I don't know that he would come on and draw on the stream. But I told him he'd just come on and chat if he wanted to. I've had him on my show before, so it's not like we don't have a relationship or anything. It's just they moved, and I think they're still in the process of moving, and I just don't think he's got.
What about Shane? Has Shane been on the show?
I have never invited Shane because you want to know the truth. Here's the truth. These guys, included Ethan, they spent a lot of time saying, oh, draw streams are boring. We don't want to do draw streams. No one cares about draw streams. I get to thinking, well, okay, then I guess those wouldn't be guys I would invite on, But then Ethan started saying that, hey, I want to come on Graybeard'S. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then we'll have you on. So
I think Shane might come on. I don't know if he wants to draw online or not. I never seen him draw online.
Well, that's the thing. Well, he does draw streams every once in a while.
Oh, he does? Okay.
Yeah, and I think people realize that. I mean, artists generally don't like to do this kind of stuff, but people like it. They like watching you create something from start to finish, and you get different interpretations,
right,
of characters and things like that.
Right.
Oh my gosh, this sucks. I would never get hired to draw Cyberfrog. Never.
I've never seen you erase so much in the blue pencil stage.
Just think about how bad it would be if Ethan was here right now. I would just be like,
And that's a good size. I don't
Well,
feel the
Ethan
pressure
would
right
be
now.
busy drawing. He wouldn't be watching you.
I know, but I'd be concerned that at the end of the show,
Oh,
I got to
okay.
show it, And
Yeah.
he's like,
Brian Norton says, invite Jimmy. He was talking trash about how his comic next year will make people forget about Wraith.
Oh, that'd be good. Bring it, Jimmy. You talk the talk, you got to walk the walk.
Yeah, see, that's coming from a third party, so we don't know if that story is true or not.
oh, it's true.
No, he was actually saying it. He said it to Aaron's face on the Kings.
Henry Bemis is asking, Gary or Aaron, have you ever been to the Deschutes County Collectible Show? If so, do they have comic vendors? I've not been to that show. Have you, Aaron?
That sounds like a long way away. Excuse me.
Well, actually, has Jimmy been on the show, guys?
No.
Oh, we got to get him on.
And the more trash he talks, the less likely he's going to be on.
No, he's more likely. Depends on your point of view here. You want to bash Aaron? Can you come on the show?
Yeah, it depends on who you talk to, right? I don't understand what I'm drawing. And that's kind of a... This doesn't... Oh, boy. I think this is going to be a disaster.
You're drawing?
Or a very unique interpretation.
Well, see, I think I see what you're doing here, Aaron. You're setting up very low expectations.
Yeah,
so even if it's just mediocre, it will still appear to be a home run.
Oh, well, I'm always...
That's
always
a good plan.
Always thinking. Plotting, if you will.
I tell you, the first time I drew Cyberfrog, it sucked really bad. And I have drawn him a number of times to try to get it right. So I have practiced quite a bit on it. But it's tough. It's a tough character.
It's just the...
I'm finally getting to the point where it's pretty good now. But man, it was like really tough to get there. It's just not, it doesn't conform with a lot of your preconceived ideas. Like your first inclinations is drawn like Spider-Man, and that's not right. It's got to be more Froggy like, the way he moves and stuff.
Your pose is almost exactly as mine, Dan, and yours is better than mine. So I'm starting
okay, let's see, Dan. Aaron is feeling a little self-conscious.
Okay, so I got to
starting
screw it up
over.
now? Is that what I got to do?
This character is
starting over.
Pastmaster Dan says he's good at drawing flies. Oh, Vespus, like those are easier.
My dad used to.
No, I think he meant drawing flies, as if
drawing flies. My dad used to tell me that.
That might be an insult.
That's how old that joke is. We're getting a lot of suggestions in the chat about who to invite. And like I said before, I mean, especially if you invite someone and they agree to be on and then something happens, like with Irene, she got caught in traffic. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah. It's live TV, man. It's like Saturday Night Live. Somebody doesn't show up. What are you gonna
Aaron, here's a pretty cool suggestion. TP Tail McKitty. I would have paid $150 for a Lopresti Heather Swain with a flamethrower.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, if she's going to offer me money, you know what? Somebody's here and I don't have to offer him money. At least I don't think I do. Everybody, welcome Ethan Van Sciver.
Hi guys. What am I nuts? I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
A very busy day today.
Oh, yes.
But what did you do? Aaron, are you done? Did you finish something already?
No, he's given up. He's starting over.
It's just, I don't think it's really, I'm not capturing the essence of the character. I need to, what are you going to draw, Ethan?
Well, I mean, I could draw anything, I could draw any one of my characters, but it looks like everybody's drawing Cyberfrog. He's
I'm bailing on Cyberfrog. Dude, how do you, when you're, that character's like in like every panel, it's like you must love the detail, obviously, but Do you ever get to a point where you're just like, oh gosh, I got to draw this guy again?
No, actually, with Cyberfrog, never. I'm always excited when I get to draw Cyberfrog. He's to me, he's just so much fun, and I love him very, very much. So, yeah, I'm happy to. He's complicated. He takes a while to draw, but you know, it's always it's just always kind of a blast for me. He's my Bugs Bunny, you know, my superhero Bugs Bunny.
Well, Ethan, I think I'm finally figuring the character out, but man, it took me a while to get it right because I've seen these guys.
So great.
It's not like Spider-Man. It's like a frog, and you got to think that way. The way it moves, the legs and stuff. And when you start thinking that, then you get the gesture drawing down correct, and I'm much better than I was. Man, my first couple ones they suck so bad. But
I always like what you do. I always think they look great. So
now can he be like thick limbed, or has he got to be really thin limbed? Is there some interpretation there, perhaps, or no?
I mean, you got him. It's just you're puffing out his. His mouth is open. I thought that was his lower. I thought that was his gullet there that you were doing.
No, his mouth. So he's yelling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. I'll keep going.
I mean, my thing is this, like, and you got him right. Yeah, like he's got a stunted torso. With wide shoulders, and his limbs can be as thin as you'd like. There's no rule about that. I always like to give him some. I always like to give him some muscle. You know.
Wait a minute? Are you just going for pen? Are you doing any sort of like underdrawing?
No,
just going?
No,
I did. I scribbled.
He drew Aaron for about 5 seconds.
Okay. All right. Well, I feel better then. Alpha Suma for $9.99. Hop back into it, Aaron. All right, I'm doing it.
Yeah, Aaron, you just have to go for it. Stop second guessing yourself.
If I take a big L here, that's all right. We'll manage.
Well, that's okay.
You know, for a few minutes, Ethan, I was like, gosh, I kind of hope you don't show up because the pressure's on. now the pressure's on. Damn it, you know.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, you guys got a nice head start on me, you know.
But I'm saying that I got to be good. It's got to be really good.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Ethan, what do you mean they got a head start on you? How many years have you been drawing Cyberfrog?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, let's be honest.
Yeah, Aaron, I hear you've grown.
So many years. So many happy years.
What year did you first draw Cyberfrog when you created him?
I think it was 1993. In fact, I know it was. Yeah, it was 19 years old.
Dang.
And I wish I still had that first drawing. I remember I did that first drawing, and I, kind of carried it around for a little while with me. I put it on a T-shirt. It was great.
What was your vision for Cyberfrog back then?
Kind of Spider-Man meets the Turtles, meets Spawn, meets Savage Dragon, meets Pit. Everything that I thought was great in comics back then. Cyberfrog was just supposed to be a character that I was using to learn to draw comics. He was never meant to be a comic book character by himself. It's just that I figured since I was going to be doing all these pages to practice, I might as well own the character. Rather than sit there and draw a million tryout Spider-Man pages, why not just own the character that I was working on? So I created a character that was, Cyberfrog. It was just silly, it was just silliness. But I grew to really like the character, and people who saw him in the 1990s liked him too. And I was able to find a publisher and just keep going with it. Well, Holly Heroes. They were this born-again Christian comic book company out of Elkhart, Indiana. Really? And their claim to fame was that they were publishing teenagers that were still in high school.
No.
Matt Martin, who draws Snowman now, I think he was 17 or 16 or 17 at the time. Trent Canuga was 15. And I met those boys. I bought their comics off of the newsstand. Or a comic book store anyway, and called them up. I was just like, "Hey guys," I was 19 at the time, and check out this character I've got called Cyberfrog. And I mean, it was one of those cool things where it's a lot like Comicsgate is now, where everybody has their own IP, and we're all kind of drawing each other's IPs. We're all kind of just enjoying the fact that we own these characters. We can do what we want with them. So I would sit there and draw Creed or ink one of Matt Martin's Vortex pieces or pages. It was just a wonderfully creative, nice kind of environment for kids who wanted to be comic book artists and who looked at Image Comics creators, and we just wanted to be like them. We aspired to be Mark Silvestri and Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane and to a lesser extent Rob Liefeld, but just fun times.
Don't let John
that's true. I hadn't thought of that. A lot of the Image guys were cool. I mean, just as human beings are cool. There were a few that were not cool, but most of them were.
Well, Wizard Magazine made them all look cool.
Yes,
to kids.
That's true.
I mean,
Ethan, you can't bash Rob Liefeld because we're trying to get John on the show.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, good luck getting John on the show.
Good luck. You hear that, Aaron?
That's what he's complaining. Apparently, he was complaining about us last night, and he's been invited on the show and turned us down. And so I was like, I figured he didn't want to come on. So I don't know.
Oh, he was invited on the show and said no thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, he used to like these drawing shows. I never liked them. I'm not crazy about drawing, in public, people watching me draw live, but John loves it. Absolutely loves it. As long as he can brag and make everybody miserable.
Right. Exactly.
That would be the part he loves. Yes.
We we might do an all horse show and have him come on, and we'll
Boy, I'll tell you, for somebody who ran his mouth about horses, he sure took a beating with his godlike horse.
Oh, did
and my impression when I saw his drawing of the horse and godlike was, oh my God, like that is sensational. It was so exciting looking, and yeah, I mean, it was exaggerated. It was more of like this kind of abstract shape than strictly, an anatomically correct horse. But man, it's funny. Like he got a little bit of karmic retribution for that because people were treating it as though it should have been, this anatomically perfect horse. But look at all his drawings. All of his drawings are these sort of
stylized. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like wicked, sharp curves and designs that bring out kind of excitement, action.
And he also picked a really difficult angle to draw a horse at. You can't find reference very easy on that.
It looked like a bolt of like lightning to me. It looked awesome. And,
yeah. And that's the thing we talk about a lot is that what the purpose of a comic book is not necessarily to be, everything perfectly drawn the way it's supposed to look in reality, but creating energy and creating a style that people go, whoa, that's really cool. I mean, that's the goal.
Yeah, it just has to immediately strike you, your.
And whenever someone starts talking shit like that, I send them to Walt Simonson's Thor. I say, take a look.
Oh my God! Yeah, of course.
These proportions are way, way exaggerated, but they look great. They're just, it's way better than if you draw it realistically.
Yeah, I had the same thing with Kirby when I was a kid. I'm trying to learn how to draw. And I love Kirby, but I couldn't figure out why, because he was like just making stuff up. Trying to learn when you're a kid drawing superheroes, you're trying to learn anatomy and you look at, Kirby's muscles and it's like, what is he doing here? But I love it.
Yeah, the kids on the block. It's funny because I grew up on a street where everybody loved comics and the older kids loved comics too. We were like the younger kids, but like they would make fun of Jack Kirby's flat fingers. And like that really bothered everybody. It just reminds me of now, like, the way, you could say, hey, I don't like the way, this guy draws this, or, people who pick apart little stylistic choices. But we were the same way as kids. Like we would just make fun of Jack Kirby, his stylistic choices, and still loved him. But, we're still kind of confounded by the choices that he made,
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the older I get, the more I appreciate it. Like when I was younger, I didn't get it. Like now you see it as pop art. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with Ditko. I never really and everything was very sort of stiff, and except for Spider-Man, it was like this rubbery character, but all the guys like in suits and stuff walking around, they were always very sort of stiff, and I didn't really get it,
Yeah, that's true. His creeper was like that. Is very fluid and rubbery, and it was perfect for that character. Aaron, before I forget,
what have you got for us here, Gary? Are you going to ring something? I was expecting you to.
you didn't hear it?
No.
You and your condenser mic, man. Here we go. Stealth X5 for $2 says cake. Is that a candy bar, a pie, chocolate chip cookies, and donuts?
Didn't he emoji food last week?
He did. This is also, I don't know if he's trying to tempt Ethan with the pie, or I don't know.
Trying to get me in here, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of plastic, Ethan, that one drawing you did of that I saw of Plastic Man was so unique in such an interesting way of taking on that character, because the limbs they weren't just like rubbery plastic. You made them muscular, like you made muscles that were flexing.
I wonder which image you're talking about.
I don't know, but it didn't have a background.
Was it just him running at the camera with his
something like that?
out? Oh yeah. Yeah,
I thought that's a unique approach to that character that I would have never thought of. I would have just made him rubbery and stretchy.
My thing
to make
is
his muscles move like that, yeah.
I hate the way Plastic Man is made to look goofy all the time. Like he's like waka waka, like he's supposed to be a funny character, but he strikes me as really annoying when he's like that. Like he's more of an irritation than like I don't want him to be my hero. It's like
yeah, exactly.
So I kind of decided he would be Ray Liotta in Goodfellas. And that's kind of how I treated him. Like, he was more of an Irish hoodlum, than anything else. And he used his plastic powers to hide, for subversion. And
you had the dibs on him for the longest time over at DC, because I tried to do something and Didio's like, now Ethan's going to do something with him.
Yep. They loved my pitch, but every time I said it's time to do Plastic Man, they'd say, yeah, but yeah, sure, Ethan, but what about Batman? And I'd be like, oh. So they kept doing that to me, like giving me, like, they wanted me to do it eventually, but they kept giving me bigger things. And I think the reason why is because my page rate was so high. Yeah. And so, it's not just, we really think, you should be working on these big characters. It was more like, you're earning so much from us that like we have to put you on projects that are definitely going to make the money back. And looking back, like I didn't realize that then. At the time, I was just like, I just must be really popular, and that's why they're giving me all these great projects. But no, it's just and the problem with doing that also, Aaron, is that like eventually they kind of go, why are we paying this guy? Let's pay these younger kids.
Yep.
Who are starting out and who are really hungry. A lower salary, and that's definitely what happens to a lot of comic book pros our age, is they kind of age out only because we get paid too much. We keep getting raises.
That's the problem with being an artist. The prices really don't go up as you get older.
Well, I mean, they could, but at some point they go, you're making too much, and now there's a kid who's going to work for 25% of what you do.
Yeah, in the Philippines or something. Yeah.
Or no, anywhere, like even in the United States, like I started out at like 150 a page or something like that, drawing impulse, and I worked my ass off. I got much better as time went on, but like why can't you find another 24-year-old who will work for $150 a page rather than pay this older guy much more.
Yeah. Well, Dan was very accommodating. I know you had a good relationship with him, and so did I, Didio. But like I was bugging him for Metamorpho the longest time, and I think he wanted to do those projects, but Dan was always, he would chicken out at the last minute because he was like, "This isn't going to sell,"
Yeah.
And then he would change course on you. But I do think he wanted to do those projects because I think he was a fan of them, much like we were, of kind of those oddball characters. But they didn't sell.
Yeah, I always thought like, the path towards becoming a popular artist was to take characters that, did not sell and then make them sell.
Yeah,
Because
like Miller. Like
Yeah.
Miller did.
If you could, yes.
like
Making
Frank
them-
Miller. Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing Daredevil and stuff like that,
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. So, I
But-
mean, imagine if you could take Plastic Man and make that into a top 10 selling book. Like, that would really say something about you. And also, you would leave this lasting impression on a character so that, maybe you would elevate that character into the future. I used to go to Dan and say, like, listen, you're not going to believe this, but like, I want composite Superman. Like, you got to give me composite Superman. And he'd roll his eyes and just, it's like, you're lucky you caught me drinking. Be like a function, but yeah, like he had the faith and he had the sense of humor and the interest in doing things like that as well.
Well, do you think there was kind of I think things changed with Image. I mean, obviously they changed with Image, but there was a time where, like in the 80s, right? So we had Simonson took over Thor, which was pretty much a dead book, and really, flipped it on its ear, and it became a super popular book. And Frank Miller did the same thing with Daredevil that was, on its way to cancellation, and he saved it. But then it seems like, you got into the 90s and after Image, that was just almost impossible. And because if you remember Mark Waid and Andy Kubert were doing Kazar, like, oh, this is going to be a big deal. They were both off the book by, the 10th issue.
Yeah, nobody cared. Yeah.
And also Eric Larson doing Nova. Well, that was going to be a big deal, right? And then it just, no one cared.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yep. And I mean, even you can put like heavy hitters like Jeff Johns and Ivan Rice on Aquaman. And I mean, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it does all right business, but it's just, you're finding the ceiling of what Aquaman can sell.
Right.
Which is not, eventually you're just kind of like, you know what? Why don't we put you guys back on Superman or Justice League?
Exactly. Let's get away from this garbage.
Aaron, I had to laugh on Professionals the other day when you're talking about Nova. That as a kid you had a Nova costume that your mom made. What was it? A Halloween?
Oh no! It was Nomad.
Nomad.
When Captain America became Nomad for like
Nomad. You had your mom made you a Nomad costume.
Yeah.
Was it for Halloween?
Yep.
Wow, that's some nerdy stuff.
No
Man.
one.
You just see little Aaron running around.
How
in a
the heck?
Nomad costume. Who are you supposed to be? Oh man,
I'm Nomad, an obscure D-list character from current Captain America comics.
Don't you guys read Captain America? How can you not know who this is? But that, I mean, I was literally explaining myself to every door I went to.
Right.
Oh, who are you?
But you
And I'm
expected
Nomad.
everybody
Like,
to-
what?
Yeah, you thought you were setting a trend that everybody would know who Nomad was and admire you for your choice.
No, Aaron just wanted to be Nomad. Like, Aaron thought Nomad was cool, and that's all it is. Like, it didn't matter if anybody else knew. I had my mom. I was telling Andrea this. I said my mom was so crafty. I gave her pictures of Hobgoblin, and I just said, "Mom, I want to be Hobgoblin for Halloween."
Wow.
I was like 35 years old. And my mom, God bless her, she took orange fabric. She made me the hood. She made me the cape. She made me the gloves. She made me these this blue kind of chainmail kind of thing, and she made me a leather pouch like he had, and then we filled it with whiz bang flash poppers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt so cool. That was like the greatest costume. Oh my God, I was the Hobgoblin.
Wow.
That was back in the day when moms could like make these amazing costumes because they all flowed,
I'm imagining Hobgoblin and Nomad meeting on the streets of
But it's equally obscure. You know what I mean? Like, nobody knew who the hell like Hobgoblin was. It wasn't for anyone else. I wasn't trying to have everybody go, "Oh, great Hobgoblin costume." It's that I wanted to be Hobgoblin.
Yeah, Aaron would have known.
Yes.
That's right. I would have.
But the hobgoblin is a goblin. I mean, so it is kind of Halloween-y, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
people would see it as, oh, it's just a, you know.
Yeah. What the hell was that?
That's Gary has all these devices that he
Welcome
makes
to the
noise
show.
whenever there's a super chat.
Oh,
Acadian Comics for $4.99. EVS. Excuse me. EVS, have you always drawn out the full figure rather than draw the mannequin model first as the underdrawing? Sending best wishes to you and your family.
oh,
Very
thanks.
nice.
Yeah, this is just kind of how I do it. I mean, I sort of will draw some energy. You know what I mean? Like I just kind of draw shapes, and I go, well, this is what it's going to be like. It's going to be a little explosion on the page here of Cyberfrog. And I just build it from there. And again, like, you know, it's easy to do. People say, how do you do it? You know, everything is like a diorama where it's like there's the foreground, the midground, and the background. So obviously the first thing in the foreground is Cyberfrog's head. So you draw that first and you work your way backwards. And if you do that, you know, you're layering the drawing as you're going. And it tends to kind of find itself as you go. And I could be doing all of this work with pencil, but this was the other thing. Like I decided, Aaron, I was like, how do I make more money? As my family started to grow, and we were like, yeah, it's just like, how do I make more money? And it's just like, why am I paying an inker? Sorry, Gary. Why are we paying inkers? How about if I just do all the work I'm doing with my pencil, which was insane. Like,
Ethan, I've been trying to keep that bit a secret. You just let the cat out of the bag.
Yep. Just instead of like drawing all that stuff with a pencil, why don't you just do it with a pen? And then it's inked, and then you get paid 2 times as much. Like, why didn't everybody do this? I don't know. But as soon as I started inking my own work, and DC allowed me to, and there was never a question of what inker are you going to use, because I was done with that. No more. I was going to always ink myself. Yeah,
worrying about if they were going to, you know, elevate it or destroy it.
Oh, there were times where, I mean, there, you know, faces and things, because I mean, like eyes and faces and, you know, lips and teeth and things like that are so precise that, you know, an inker can just completely, they can make your characters look hideous.
Yep.
Whereas, you know, if you're sitting there, you're the guy in control, you know, you can handle that and make sure to add the proper bit of precision where it needs to go.
Yeah, a lot of times too, I don't really know how I'm going to finish that. You know, it's a pencil smudge, but when you get to the ink stage, there's still decisions to be made.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's the wrong decision, then it's, you know.
Aaron, did you get that other super chat?
Oh, Cyberwolf 2060 for $4.99. Thank you, Cyberwolf. Hunkered down in Orlando, waiting for the second hurricane of the season to hit and enjoy watching professionals doing their comic book craft. Well, thank you for that, and stay safe, man. I spent 3 years down there in Tampa. I know we got hit by several hurricanes while I was down there.
How about you, Ethan? You were in Florida. Did you go through the hurricane stuff? Or?
Oh yeah, hurricane season from July to September could be scary. I lived in Orlando for 5 years. I was traveling all the time, but Hunter was little, and it was hard to get like a convention to pay like 3 tickets. And I would go there. I would go to conventions. I'd come home with a little pile of cash for the family, so it was important that I went. But my wife was a hysteric, not Andrea, Hunter's mom. And I remember going, the greatest moment of my life was also beset by women drive me nuts. They really do. 2004. Okay. It's 2004. And I'm in Chicago, Wizard World, Chicago. And, I'm up there with Jeff Johns. We're announcing Green Lantern Rebirth. So it's like it's a big panel. The room is packed with people. And the rumor is there's a surprise guest coming, or 2 guests. So the room is absolutely packed. It's the height of comics. We're at I'm about to blow up and become like a really big comic book artist, and everything's wonderful. And I'm there by myself. And I say Andrea, Hunter's mom, my wife, is back home. And a storm is coming through Orlando. A big storm, not like the one that's happening now, but a big one.
Yeah.
And so I'm on stage with Jeff. We're announcing stuff. My cell phone goes off, and I look down, and it's my wife calling, and she's like, "The storm's coming. We're really scared." And I'm on a panel with I'm like, "Babe, I'm on a panel right now. I really can't." She's just like, "Fine," hangs up. She's hysterical. Ladies and gentlemen, we have special guests, taking a break from filming here in Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale. And on either side of me and Jeff, Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale sit down on the dais with us. And Christian Bale has his hat pulled down low, and you can't see his eyes because he's still in character as Batman. And Christopher Nolan's just like, "Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, we're going to have to ask you to silence your phones. We're going to be presenting some scenes that we have just filmed from the new movie Batman Begins." And everybody's like, everybody's going insane. And all of a sudden, bring, 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 it's my phone again. And my wife, I'm like, Christopher Nolan turned to me and he goes, I was hoping we could silence the phones. I'm like, I'm sorry, just a minute. It's my wife. She's in hell. And my wife was just like, "We're in the fucking bathtub, okay? Are you happy? Your wife and your son are gonna die. We're in the fucking I'm like, "Baby, I am on a panel right now with Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan." And she's just like, "Holy shit, she's cursing at me. She's calling me an a-hole.
How far away were you from her at that point?
I'm in Chicago. She's in Orlando. I'm like, "What do you want me to even do?"
Exactly. That's it.
I'm sorry, R.I.P. to my family, but I'm here with Batman and the director of Batman. And she kept calling me back over and over again, but ruined that experience for me. I really wanted to enjoy that, but I was like, you know how it is when your wife is mad at you?
Yep.
And you're just like, I can't.
I know it well.
Oh my God. So yeah, I'm very familiar with Florida's storms and what goes on in those storms.
No, there's honestly, man, there's nothing worse than being at a show and then having your wife call you pissed at you about something.
Oh, it's just terrible.
Because you're there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Except feel bad, right?
That's how women are, though, for real. They're just like, "Oh, you're having fun? Let me see what I can do to stress you out, ruin your time, destroy what it is that you're enjoying." It's just awful. Just awful.
My wife would be happy to get rid of me.
Yeah, so when Dad leaves, she never calls.
She's like, "Party time, celebrate."
Yeah, no, there's a certain type of woman that just wants to ruin what you're enjoying.
Yeah,
there's an envy or something like that. I've got to stay home with the kids while you're out there partying. And I mean, I get it. It's but
I've heard I've come across that type of person.
Yes, indeed. Look at Gamergate, for example.
The reality is, though, it's not like we're partying and having a good time. We're generally working our butts off.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so stressful. I mean, those conventions are,
I used to like going to them, but you do feel exhausted when you're done because you meet all these really wonderful people, but there's something about you get burnt out. They're just the emotions or something. I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean,
all day and that kind of thing, and I don't know.
Oh, it's degrading in a way because you're sitting behind a table, like a card table, sitting in a folding chair like a zoo animal, just hoping somebody will come by. Now you think you're famous and everything, but no. There's no way that anybody feels famous when they're sitting in a bingo hall, behind sitting on a folding table, just hoping somebody comes by and kind of goes, "Who are you again?" "Oh, nice to meet you," and then starts unwrapping.
Walks by, you perk up.
Yeah, it's so degrading, and you have to smile and you have to put on an act for everybody. And I used to just be like, Andrea would be there with me at a couple of these things. We went, she went on a tour with me in Wizard World, and I would say, "Oh, I like your shirt," when I had nothing else to say to somebody.
That was always my go-to is compliment their shirt.
Yeah, you're just like, get out of here. I can't. Yeah, I'm so glad I don't want to do conventions anymore. I see John and Shane going to these conventions, and I'm like, part of me is kind of like, oh, it'd be fun to go and party during the after show, but when you're at the convention itself, oh, it's death. It's just death. And you see Mags Visaggio sitting there today was really bad. Maybe tomorrow will be better. Taking pictures of his table, during the con. And then like the next day, a new tweet that says it wasn't better. So, and I just
And
go,
then
I
you always
feel you.
have these creators come over and say, "How'd you do?" And you know
Yeah.
they're asking because they did awful.
Yeah. It's
Looking
just
for a
no
little
fun.
misery. Loves company, right? So you don't want to go, oh, I did great. Oh my gosh, I just
Yeah, you can't say that.
$14,000 today. How did you do? They're like,
Yeah.
Right. You have to pretend that you know.
I
I
still
did
remember that
fantastic.
Mags dude. At least I think it was a Mags guy when Orson Scott Card was being canceled, and there was some. I think you guys remember an artist named Francesco.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
he's
he had
good.
his Facebook page, and I was a member of it, and
Yeah, I
and
followed him.
he invited everybody onto his, made friends with everybody. So
What happened to that guy?
I don't know, but I ran into the, you know, these guys are ripping into this guy's, and I'm like, I can't believe what I'm hearing, that he can be canceled. What happens? You're going to say Catholics need not apply to work on, if they have a certain political position. That was the first time I saw this cancel stuff, and it was shocking to me because I always thought liberals always said, anyways, hey, it's I may not agree with you, but I defend the right to say it, and they're always waving the free speech flag.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it just changed, and now, of course, it's a nightmare. But it's
excuse me, it's Trump, the most polarizing political figure probably ever. Everything was, yeah,
but I remember I would go to these art director, to these ad agencies, and they go into the rooms, and maybe a dartboard with George Bush's face on it. You know what I'm saying? So
I know, but nobody cared because they were all.
But I'm saying in the
machine.
arts, though, I mean, it's always been you had to kind of be shut. You got to be quiet about your conservatism. Or
but you could make a joke about George Bush, and they wouldn't hate you for it.
Yeah, it's intensified completely. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's crazy.
Stealth X5 for $2. Thank you, Stealth. Enjoying the show. Frogs everywhere. Indeed, there are.
That's what we like.
Yeah, generally we don't do a competition type show. It's just a friendly get together, but we're all on the same figure, so it's by default it becomes kind of a competition, which is.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. I don't think that's necessary. I told Andrew, I said, I gotta go on this show. And all these artists are going to kick my ass in my own character. It's not good.
So, Ethan, do you mind me asking how things went today? Are everything good, or?
Well, it's what we thought. So, it's Andrea got her diagnosis. She does have Parkinson's. So at least we know, and we can, move forward and start making choices and get the medication that we need. And, I just told her, I said, well, we've got, we're going to fight now. So you're a fighter. Yep. We'll go to the gym and I'll go with you. Now I have to, you know what I mean? I actually have to. She's got to be out there exercising.
Are you going to be like Burgess Meredith? You'll be sitting there going, come on, Rocky, come on.
I mean, I'd be more comfortable in that role, but no, I'll try to exercise too with her and just keep her moving because you get stiff. So it's scary. And, it's just like, well, why us and all this stuff. And it's like, well, what are we going to do? Just sit around and feel sorry for ourselves or what? I mean, ultimately God decides how much time you get here and you get to decide what you do with that time. So
it's an excellent way to put it.
Well, this is the thing about comics and superheroes and all this stuff. This is what I love about comics is, what it does for our society. It trains us guys then to be the hero when we need to be the hero, and I think that's a good thing. And that's why I would defend it, and I love it. But it's times like now that you have to, these things come through. These hero qualities have to come out.
Yeah. But I mean, other things are going pretty well. The Preston Poulter lawsuit settled.
Oh,
there were two. Yeah. And I can't comment on it. NDA.
Right.
But satisfactory? Can you say that?
I can't say anything about it. But
okay.
You know, it's
But when you say it's settled, you mean it's done with. There's no more.
that's correct. It's
Excellent.
you know, it's in the rearview mirror.
That's good.
So now we will move forward with my show Comicsgate Live, and we will you know, do what we do. And also Comicsgate Arena will be publishing Elephant #1. So it's very important that we you know, you guys help me promote that. That's going to be phenomenal. John Malin produced an amazing cover. Amazing.
Oh yeah, I saw
cover
that. That's
for Elephant.
fantastic.
Yeah. Business as usual.
Well, speaking of which, we do have the link to David's Williams and EVS, of course, wrote and created Fearsome. You'll find a link in the description of this video. It'll take you right to the campaign, as well as Wraith of God 3, which is currently active as well, and Dan Lawless's YouTube channel where he does comic book tutorials, really great stuff. So you want to get over there and subscribe to his channel if you haven't done so already.
Yeah.
And that's your public service announcement for today.
Thank you for that. We got a new website too. I got to say, man, everybody's been really nice. Yancy and Shane Davis. Sometimes you have friends that are like, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. And you're just like, well, I mean, I will. Thank you. I don't know what I would ask from you, though. Like, you know, I would never ask anything of you guys. And they just went on their own time and their own expense and made me a website.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called evscomics.com. And it's just like, you know, phenomenal. It is so nice of them. It basically collects and collates all of my campaigns, my eBay, everything like that onto one page, so that you just go there and you know, can support whatever I'm doing, buy whatever I have for sale. It was so nice. I didn't ask them to do that. I wasn't expecting that, but they were just like, here you go. We bought you a website.
That's amazing.
Super nice, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're good people.
Aaron, did you get my
Okay, thank you.
rooster crow?
Well, I think Shane feels he owes you for all those Big Macs you sent him too. That might have something.
Well, he does. I mean, to be fair, yeah.
Cullen for $2. Thank you, Cullen. Ethan, why'd you block me on X today? Fix this. He says he's just demanding some sort of.
Why would I block you? Oh, I don't know. I mean, listen, I don't know who you are on Twitter. It takes a lot for me to block you. I mean, if I actually did block you, you're making my day unpleasant, and I I don't want my days to be unpleasant. Okay, I'm trying to have fun.
There you go.
So,
I get that. I get that. Somebody will say, "Why did you block me?" And it's like, I don't remember.
yeah, there's something you did or said something on my timeline, usually persistently. It's not just like once or twice. It's like many, 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 many times. And I went, you know what? I don't want to look at this anymore. Get out of here.
Yeah.
My criteria is rudeness. If they're rude, then I just get rid of them. And when they ask, I say you're being rude. And okay, don't be rude.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, in general, like my attitude used to be like, look, if you're like, you know, a hater, you get 3 shots at me and then I'm going to block you. I'm making good.
You give them 3.
Yeah.
So I've got 1 more to go.
The only people I blocked are generally there's celebrities who or artists that continue to post their annoying political opinions. It's like, I'm not following you because I'm interested in who you're voting for.
Listen to you. Yeah. Wow.
I'm interested, you know, I want to see your artwork, or I want to see this or that, you know, and it's just annoys the crap out of me. It's like,
I like that. Like, I don't block people for that. I've never blocked anyone for their opinions. I usually block them because you know, it's like clear that like they're trying to get a rise out of me, or they're trying to irritate me, or, you know, like I said, make my day unpleasant. Those of you, like, if you want to sit there and go in on Trump or something like that, I generally, that's not enough for me to block you.
Well, for me, it's you know, these are like celebrities. Like I was following like Chris Evans, right?
Oh yeah.
All he would post about would, you know, and you're just like, dude, seriously, don't you have anything else to offer me? You know, and so just, you know, or Ron Perlman, you know, you're just like, okay.
Oh my God, he's ill. Mark Hamill too, just ill.
Yeah. Mark Hamill though is entertaining because he's so stupid.
without intending to be.
Yes, of course. He thinks he's brilliant, but we know.
Yeah, that's what makes it funny.
Well, I think too about the people who are coming to your Twitter page if someone's ruining the experience for them. It's like I don't care what anybody says about me, but it's like being at a restaurant, where if you're disrupting with the other patrons, the other customers, and ruining their experience, then you got to go. If it's just me, I don't care. Say whatever you want. But if you're going to make it a miserable experience for the fans who are following you, the other customers, that's the criteria. That it's unpleasant for them to see that shit going down.
Yeah.
Maybe I put too much thought into it, but I always think if I block somebody that's just annoying me, it's kind of like they're going to be taking a screenshot of me blocking them, going, "Oh, I can't take it."
Yeah, they always do that. It's like a trophy, but to me, it's like it's a trophy of you being retarded and one person. Like,
true.
Like I get thrown out of a party and I brag about it. You know what I mean? It's like, look at me. They can't handle me at this party. They threw me the fuck out into the street. What a bunch of losers. I guess I win, guys. I mean, not to me. It's just.
I don't mind if somebody blocks me. That's just one less person I have to deal with.
Yeah.
I don't understand if people get so upset. You blocked me. It was like, yeah, and what's your point?
Well, there's sometimes where you just go, no, hold on a second. Like I find out that like I'm blocked by people I've never even heard of or met. Yeah. And it's because, word went around. It's like the SJWs were like, you gotta fucking block Ethan Van Sciver. And word got around. And so like I'll sit there and go, oh, who is this artist? And I'll look them up and I'm blocked. And it's like I just found out about you. Like I guess you found out about me a long time ago. So that kind of annoys me. I don't like that. Like a rude interaction, or something like that is one thing, but these kind of like preemptive blockings.
Right. That's what I was just thinking.
Well, that's what you get for being the Trump of comics, Ethan.
Yeah.
People are out ahead of you. They're like,
oh, I feel it too, Aaron. I really do. I feel like I'm the Trump of comics sometimes. But it's just the way it is. Like I have people in my corner, but like the establishment and even the conservative establishment is largely against me. I mean, it's just like, that
would make a great T-shirt of the photo of Trump saying "fight" only with your head on.
No, it would not. It would make a terrible T-shirt. Yeah, I don't want anything like that. Yeah, I don't want to be shot at or anything. I mean, and listen, I think I might be the only person around here who's actually received valid death threats. I mean, people, honest to God, like I will murder you if you come to the convention. I'm going to kill Ethan Van Sciver, like that kind of stuff.
Is that scary or is it like a compliment?
It's terrifying. Because it's just like, it could happen. I mean, you don't know who these people are. Right. And you look at Trump, like, society is prepared to reward assassins of conservatives. Like they feel like they're doing the right thing. And I'm sorry I failed, guys, but maybe the next person won't fail. There is that level of mental illness nearly in mainstream comics.
I agree. I often sit there and think, like at San Diego or whatever, you're sitting there going, is someone just going to come out and cap me?
Could happen. It won't happen, Aaron. Nobody's mad at you, but they could. I mean, you don't know. Like you don't know these people, like how seriously they take any of this. And I mean, it really is like alarming. Sometimes you'll just see like these Star Wars Raylos that are just like, these are the people who are ruining Star Wars. And it's like, what the hell? Like, and they're just like, oh, the world would be a better place if they were dead. And it's like, Jesus, like the mental illness is just off the scale.
Didn't Billy actually have a real credible threat at one point too?
Did he, Billy Tucci?
Yeah, I believe he had. And I think he was contacted and, by the FBI or something like that. He could tell you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Yep. That was and that guy was threatening me too. It was the same individual. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The FBI contacted me. So that's kind of how me and Billy Tucci kind of, got back in touch.
Bonded.
Yeah. Well, we'd always been friends, but I mean, yeah, it's like, one crazy individual threatened to kill both of us.
Yeah, it's like Marines in the trench. You have that.
That's what I think when
weird.
people say, because some of these guys now that who they are, they're going around saying, "Oh, Ethan wasn't canceled" or something like that, and I'm like, go watch that video of you and the pizza shop, where you got a freaking brick thrown through the front window after the signing. Like that's called cancelization right there. That's
that is scary. That's like do not dare, like do another one.
They're trying to intimidate you, trying to.
And I got, somebody said if Ethan shows up at Emerald City Comic Con, we're gonna, I can't remember what they said. There are a couple of guys who were talking about attacking me. One crazy comic shop owner in California said he was going to shoot me with a shotgun in the face. He was probably the most credible threat. Because I actually talked to him. I said, "What's wrong?" He was losing his shop and everything. Like he was going out of business. He was bankrupt, and he was crying to me. And he was like, "Did you really vote for Trump?" And I said,
So he was blaming you for his.
Yeah, he was just like, he couldn't believe that he was speaking to somebody in comics who had voted for Trump, and he was crying. And he's like, "Did you really vote for Trump?" And I was like, "Yes, I did." And he's just like, "Why?" And I was like, "Dude, you need mental help, man."
I know.
Yeah.
They don't care that the economy was better, than we weren't in any wars, and that he's a dictator. Really? When
Right?
did that happen? Because I missed that part.
Yeah, you can.
The madness part is when those same people embrace Islam. It's like the antithesis of everything they believe, and they embrace it.
Yeah.
That's when it's all it's bullshit.
I wonder why they do that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Aaron, we've had several inquiries about this week's beef.
Oh, it's time, folks. Let's do what's Gary's beef? Some people say it's more exciting than mummy news, Ethan. Let's find out if it actually is. It's
okay.
What's Gary's beef?
Who says that? I love mummy news.
Yeah, so do I, actually.
This week's beef is lampshades.
Oh my God.
I might be with you on this one.
When I was in college, the girl that I dated right after the matzo ball girl from last week.
Okay.
Her name was Lori, and she lived with her older sister, Judy, in an apartment. And her sister Judy was having a lot of problems with her ex-boyfriend, like coming over at 3:00 in the morning and banging on the door. And she had to call the police on him a couple of times. And she was kind of high strung anyway. So she was really upset about it. So she appreciated when I came over, and she tried to get me to stay as long as possible. I mean, that's how nervous she was. So one evening, it's probably around midnight, I'm in Lori's room. We're watching a movie. And of course, I have the door open because, I'm a gentleman.
Yeah, of course.
And what was that, Crack?
No, I was agreeing with you. I said, of course.
Okay. So we're watching a movie, and Judy comes running in the room. And
the movie wasn't like Deep Throat or anything, was it? I mean, it was like
no.
Okay, good. You're a gentleman.
Close the door on that.
Yeah. She comes running in the room, and two things are immediately apparent. One, she's extremely upset and distraught. Mm. And two, she's wearing a flimsy nightgown.
Oh, boy.
Okay. And good.
Immediately, I'm thinking, okay, she must really be upset. Otherwise, she would not appear to me with this flimsy nightgown. And I realized that I need to, avert my gaze because, one, it's already been established that I'm a gentleman. And two, my girlfriend Lori is right at my elbow.
Right.
So
you don't want to be checking out her sister. Or
exactly.
Right. Okay.
So the sister, Judy, is asking if we heard that noise in the living room. It's like, no, didn't hear anything. And so she thought that somebody was in the apartment. And like, well, we didn't hear anything. And because of the antics of her ex-boyfriend, she thought it was, he broke in or something. So it's like, okay, I couldn't blow it off because she was, she was obviously scared. So I said, okay, let's go check it out. And so the three of us arm ourselves with what we can from Lori's bedroom. So I grab Lori's tennis racket. Lori grabs a ceramic figurine, and she's brandishing that. And Judy, the sister, grabs a can of hairspray. So we're
cool was a can of hairspray and a lighter.
Oh no, she didn't have the lighter. She just had and I'm assuming she was, planning on blinding them or something. I don't know. So we're all, like hip to hip. I'm leading the pack, but we're, close together. We go into the hallway, and I can see from the hallway into the living room that the light's on in the living room, and the light that's on doesn't have a lampshade. And I can also see the front door still has the lock on it. The chain is on it. So I asked Judy, did you turn the light on? She said, no. And she's starting to freak out. So I peeked my head around the corner so I could see the living room. And the lampshade was on the floor in the middle of the living room. Did you do that? No. Why would I do that? So it's like, okay, what's going on here?
This is starting to sound like a good Halloween story here.
Yeah.
So we start looking around, checking every nook and cranny, opening up cupboards and closets, and there was nobody there.
Yeah.
The front door is locked. And based on her behavior, I believed her that she did not do that. She always turns the light out before she goes to bed. So that was odd. And then the lampshade had been removed and placed on the floor. So to this day, whenever I see an unaccompanied lampshade, I admit I get the creeps.
So we don't know.
I have no idea. To this day, I have no idea what happened there.
But Charles Manson was not, in fact, hiding underneath the sink.
No, Charles Manson didn't kill anyone. It was really these strange women that he and creeps. Charles Manson was a cult leader. I don't even think he would kill anyone necessarily. Like, he just inspired other people to do it. So he wouldn't be under the bed, but like maybe Squeaky Frome would be.
Well, now hang on a second. When they arrested him, wasn't he hiding in his house or his apartment? And he was hiding underneath the sink.
That was
and they saw his hair was sticking out from the closed doors underneath the sink, and that's how they caught him, because they saw the.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So the hairspray would have come in handy.
It could have. It could have.
You need to control those frills, and
yeah.
So yeah, I moved recently, and so it was kind of traumatizing seeing those lampshades.
Oh, but
brought back memories.
The question is, Gary, have you ever experienced a lampshade off the lamp again since that time?
No, I'm not.
I think this sister was angling for a little action, Gary. That's what I think. And she did, in fact, knock the lamp off just to create a scenario.
she could have made a successful career in the theater, because if she was acting, she was brilliant. I believed her because of how she was behaving. She's like, one of those alpha women. I mean, very take charge and that kind of thing. So to see her act like that was kind of.
And yet she ran into the room with a negligee on.
That's Aaron, you're taking that wrong. That's how upset she was.
Yeah. Right.
You're not buying it.
I think she knocked the lampshade off herself when she realized that you were a good boy. To give her what she was looking for.
Right, got to steal this guy from my sister. Is I think what we're seeing here.
I want to believe Gary's story. That's
I don't.
Well, but there's no payoff if you believe Gary's story. There's got to be more to it than that.
It's a mysterious Halloween story then.
Somebody had to knock that thing off, and someone was lying about it.
I don't know. I can't explain it. I mean, to follow your thread, she would have followed up. Well, as long as we're all hanging out and we're up.
Well, that was her sister there. She
was clearly.
No, she was showing you the goods and expected you to follow up.
Yeah,
and you didn't do it.
Yeah. Kind of puts your youth in perspective now, doesn't it? Like, if you were to look back and were you really naive? Like, if you think about all the opportunities that you had with girls that you were too naive to recognize because you were too young. Yeah.
Tons.
I mean, my wife upstairs, Andrea, was like, I was begging you to go out with me, and I was just kind of like, you're just like my pretty friend, I had another girlfriend. I would have dumped my girlfriend in a second for Andrea. I had no idea she liked me. I thought she was just being nice to me. But that's because I was stupid, or naive.
But we also, it's like, I don't think anybody wants to experience rejection, right? So you're always talk yourself out of stuff going, is she really interested? Because I don't want to make a fool of myself.
Yeah, but I swear to God, I always tell Hunter now, I'm like, you know what? Cast a wide net. And I'm not saying date whales. I'm saying I mean, honestly, if you see a girl that you're interested in, I mean, don't even question it. Get used to having no feelings, no real human feelings. Don't worry about rejection. Go ask, go check it out. I mean, the worst she's going to say is no, or go, ha, you're ugly. That's the worst that could happen. Best case scenario, though, she'll knock her lampshade off for you.
That's right.
Girls always seem interested when they first find out you're a comic artist, but then when they find out you're poor,
that's right. They think you're famous.
Oh, you work for Marvel? Wow.
Yeah.
You have a Pontiac 6000? Oh.
Oh, what? You live here?
Are you the guys that make those movies?
Is that your car?
Yeah, but when you're a teenager, it works though. When you're young, even in your 20s, I work at Marvel. Sorry, Aaron, that is what's known as a panty dropper in a lot of cases. It really is.
He apologizes ahead of time.
When you're in your 30s or 40s, it becomes what do you do for a living? You draw comic books, do you?
Yeah.
But when you're young, it just
no, I agree with that. Shelley thought it was the coolest thing in the world, and I knew all these celebrities and comic book celebrities, right? And she used to go to the shows.
I was like, "Hey, baby, you want to meet Margot Kidder?"
Yeah. That's like George on Seinfeld trying to impress those girls that he's a TV writer.
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh yeah," they laugh at him because he's a writer,
right?
A TV writer. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Stan Lee would tell the story where he was initially when he was at parties, and they'd say, hey, "What do you do?" Oh, he'd say, "I'm a writer." And then they go, "What do you write?" And he'd just kind of hem-haw, and eventually he'd have to say, "Yeah, I write comic books." Then there'd be a conversation over before comics got cool,
Colin for Canadian $5 says 4-year plus member of your channel, Ethan, Substar and Patreon, and I'm a hater. I barely ever tweet at you.
Maybe you hallucinated me blocking you. I don't, I don't remember blocking anyone today.
Fox
Sorry,
Boulder for $20. Fox, thank you. Everything looked amazing with the Kit Carter book, especially the headshot art you included. Hope to eventually frame with the original Kit Carter art page, then do similar with the Wraith art pieces, as well as EVS unfinished page of Heather. So Fox is a art collector. This guy,
Yeah, he's legit.
Bob Gable for $1.99. Tex Watson was the mastermind. Charlie was a patsy. Oh brother, oh brother.
I think it was Doris Day that was behind it all because, because her son was the initial target by the Manson family, and like he wasn't home. Terry Melcher wasn't home. And so they ended up just killing whoever they could find. I've done that before too.
Wait a minute.
Well,
Yeah.
if you got a plan, and you got to kind of alter it sometimes on the run. Things don't work out exactly right. So.
Cullen, let me know who you are, and I will unblock you. I'm sorry for blocking a customer. If I did block you, it's terrible.
Yeah, he's clearly upset.
I wish to issue you a sincere and heartfelt apology. Sorry, man.
Now, Ethan, have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes.
Now, what did you think on his take on the Manson family?
I loved it. I thought it was a great, because I mean they've been vilified and made to look so cool and spooky, and scary. But no, I mean I like Quentin Tarantino. They were just spotty, drug addicted hippie dweebs. I like that better. I think that's a better way to memorialize them.
Well, it's funny because I didn't know, when I watched it, I like the sort of vintage 60s kind of feel it has. I'm not a big Tarantino fan. He's a little too violent for me, but I thought I'm going to watch this one.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, do I have to sit here and watch them kill Sharon Tate? I was like, oh.
Yeah, see, I was the same way, kind of dreading when that was going to happen.
Right. And then they just totally, took a U-turn, and that was great.
Yeah. The original script had Bruce Lee fighting them.
Oh, really?
That'd be cool.
Family. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Which would have been really cool.
Yeah.
I think I saw him in an interview say that he thought that was his best film.
Bruce Lee?
No.
Oh.
Tarantino. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I'm with you, Aaron. I'm not a huge Tarantino fan. There's always something that I love and something that I hate in all his movies.
I think he
wasn't anything that I hated in that movie.
Yeah.
I think he's like John Malin. The whole reason why he learned how to make movies is so that he could say the N-word. That's it. And he he uses the N-word a lot, almost as much as John Malin does.
Almost.
Yeah.
Well, and what's his face? Who's the black actor that's always in his films? Nick Fury.
Oh, Sam. What's his name?
Jackson.
Sam Jackson.
He's always defending him. So.
Yeah. All right, I'm done my Cyberfrog.
Well, what time do we have here?
Yeah. Okay, Aaron. He showed up late.
How in the heck?
He's finished.
Judas Priest, Ethan. Oh my gosh.
Please don't use heavy metal's name in vain.
I don't think that was in vain, though.
Yeah.
Aaron, so what's the time situation?
5 minutes. Give us 5 more minutes of your precious time, Ethan, and we'll let you
go. Got it.
I can't believe I'm going to finish mine. I thought, no way. But I'm not doing a background, of course.
Well, I'm close. I may have to leave a little detail out, but I don't think I really captured the lankiness of the character. I'm a little disappointed here, but a lot of pressure. I was feeling pressure before Ethan showed up, and then when he actually
that's what I said.
Yeah,
I'm really feeling it. So, Ethan, you have any thoughts on Bigfoot, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I don't believe in him. I don't think he's real at all. And if he is real, he's a biblical character. You know, Mormons do believe that Bigfoot is from the Bible. He is yeah, he's one of the guys. Is he Cain? He might be Cain.
Really?
Yeah, who was cursed to walk the earth forever. And that's why he looks the way that he looks, which isn't good. But that's what Mormons believe. When I say Mormons, I mean, you know, probably like almost nobody believes that, but like I've heard that before, you know. It's possible, you know.
Well,
That all the Bigfoot sightings is just one guy.
Yeah, it's just one guy. That's why there are Bigfoot sightings, but like you never see like many of them. You always see like one of them, and only a few people have seen it, you know.
well, but here's the problem. Okay, they all look different. A lot, you know, so it's like they can't even get together and say, okay, we're going to do these fake Bigfoot films, but they should look similar, so that way it'd be more believable. No.
Yeah.
And
It doesn't seem like much of a curse though, because I like walking trails, and then the idea of not having to bathe or take care of yourself or groom yourself. It sounds great.
About Dan Lawless.
Just live out there in the world, in the wilderness. Sounds good.
Kind of a Jeremiah
Mr.
Johnson.
Natural, you know.
Cain is still alive and wandering the earth as punishment for killing Abel. He's covered in hair. He wears no clothing.
Yeah, that all sounds good.
Yeah, the story of Cain and Bigfoot. David Patton's Cain and the Conception of Evil in LDS folklore. I guess that's true. The church takes no official stance on this, but some members believe that the legendary Sasquatch or Bigfoot is Cain. Wouldn't you like to meet him? I mean, if that's true, like, wouldn't you want to meet Bigfoot and be like, "Hey, tell me about the
Yeah.
Book
Yeah,
of
you really
Genesis,"
fucked up.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, he would be full of ancient knowledge.
Yeah.
Aaron, did you get Bob Gable's super chat?
I did get. I thought I did. Let me take a look here.
I would be like, "Hey, we're cousins. I'm related to your father." That's what I would say to Bigfoot if I met him. Wouldn't you?
I'm related. Well, I guess you would be. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
We're all family here.
Yeah.
So don't crush my skull and eat my liver.
Exactly. That's more of a Hannibal Lecter thing. That was eating the liver.
Well, whatever big feet eat.
I would want to crush his head with a cinder block, and I'd be like, "This is for Abel, you son of a bitch." Finally, get
you really
revenge.
are immortal.
Yeah. Aaron, did you answer my question about Bob?
Yeah, he made the comment about Tex Watson,
Yes.
the
Yes.
mastermind behind
Okay.
the Manson family murders.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's true or not. Did you guys ever see that TV movie with Steve Railsback back in like it was like the 70s or maybe early 80s?
What was it called?
It was the Manson. It was like a biopic of the Manson family and then his trial and everything. And Steve Railsback played Manson. He looked just like him. Freaked me out. I remember as a kid, I'd always ask my mom, "Are they going to let Charles Manson out of prison? I don't want him to come and kill me." She was like, "No, they're not going to let him out."
Yeah, your mom would have taken you more seriously if you didn't wear the costume to bed every night.
What, the nomad costume?
Yeah.
Probably.
All right, guys. Good news. It's the top of the 6th inning, and the Phillies are beating the Mets 1-0. Yeah, that's great news.
What is how does the series shape up?
It's 2-1. The Mets are up 2 games. Phillies 1 game. So Phillies have to win this game, or their season's over. But if they win this game, they're coming back to Philadelphia, and they're going to play the 5th game, and that's going to be cool. I might go to that one.
All right. Well, let's get Ethan out of here so he can see the rest of this game. All right. I will show my wares first, and here we go. I don't know that I captured the essence of the character, but This was my first try, so you guys cut me a little bit of slack.
Very nice.
You see, like his limbs need to be longer, don't you think?
What would be no, I don't think so. You could make them longer, but I think it actually looks really good.
Okay, well, thank you, Ethan.
I'd say I wish he had teeth in his mouth. That's the one.
Oh, does he have teeth?
Yeah,
I've
he
never
does,
seen him with his mouth open.
like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle kind of teeth.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put him in there. That's what whiteout's for. So
Hmm.
put some teeth in there. Fix that baby. All
Great job.
righty. Let's see what Dan Lawless has provided for us today. Oh,
Hmm. Yeah, very dynamic, very cool. I love the Bigfoot in the foreground. Speaking of
Mhm.
Bigfoot,
Yeah, that's coming at you.
his head looks good. Nice work.
yep. And
Very
let's see.
frog-like.
That's very good, Dan. You beat me. Let's see what Ethan did with his own character.
Yeah, I just banged this out pretty quickly here, but this is a Cyberfrog drawing here. And I mean, what I like to do is I like to just take the shape. I couldn't fit his whole foot here. That's the only problem that I was having trouble with. But yeah, I like to take the shape of the paper and just try to fit the whole figure in there and squeeze them in there. But
Excellent.
I don't know. It's quick, but it's not
It's a
fun.
finished illustration, for goodness sake. Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
you got the classic X composition.
You
Mhm.
came in late and you finished before everybody else. So
Yeah.
He's the master.
Well, yeah, he knows his stuff.
Yeah, not bad. Not
Made the
bad.
hand work really well up there. His left hand to still fit on the paper. Very nice.
Yeah, this one too. You had to do this a little bit to get it
Yeah.
on there, but I would
I
have liked
have
to
to-
blade it a little bit.
I have to make a comment about the inking. I really like the line weights, the contour versus the interior lines. I like that contrast.
That's a good way to like fake a quick drawing, because it's like I'm just sitting there drawing with a number one. Like I did the whole thing with this pen, and this pen is like beat up, so it's not very good quality. So I just kind of and then do a nice fat line around it. It's like,
No.
oh, it looks
good
like
work.
it's intentional. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So it gives the contrast. So you get the nice.
Very nice. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Graybeard Studios. I want to thank our special guest, Ethan Van Sciver, for making time out of his very busy schedule to join us today. And I want to thank everybody for super chats and for your participation. We've had a huge audience today, as we figured we would. Please hit the like and subscribe, help this channel grow. And who knows, maybe John Malin will show up one day.
That'd be
Yeah, I
nice.
say, well, wear them down. That's all.
That's right. So remember, Wraith of God 3, Dan Lawless's YouTube channel, Ethan and David Williams' Fearsome. All links in the description of this video. Go there and back those campaigns if you haven't done so already. All right, everybody. Good night and enjoy
See
the
you
rest of the
guys.
evening. We'll see you next time.